Not necessarily as sexy as shipping containers and things moving around the world, but a very real world problem, local fundraising. Let me start off with a little story. So first, this is supposed to be me, and it was a real event that happened on Election Day last year. I am in addition to being a scout leader and a father of 4, I help coach the robotics club at the local middle school. And as with most school clubs, they have a need to raise money, and we chose to sell Krispy Kreme donuts outside the school where they were having elections. So 165 dozen Krispy Kreme donuts in the back of my wife's minivan. We sat outside all day. A couple people took off work. The kids came and staffed the booth. We invested, 50, 60 hours into doing this to raise about $900. And the good news with that was, actually people like Krispy Kreme donuts, but most of the fundraising options that are available to these local types of nonprofits are not great, right? They require some type of compromise. They're either labor intensive, right? You've got a couple of volunteers who are investing significant amount of time to try and raise some money. And the key problem is that most of these organizations, scouts, school clubs, they can't just solicit money. They can't say, could you give me $5 for my band trip? They have to provide something in return. So they're either providing a service, we're having a 5K, we're running a golf outing, we're doing a dance-a-thon, whatever, or we're gonna go and sell a product. And so the administrative nightmares, you just don't have that many people who can invest the hours in doing those things. Or you put everybody in this very difficult position to go and sell something that they don't care about. They're selling popcorn or cookie dough or wrapping paper or kitchen gadgets, and they're overpriced things, and the kid shows up on your front step and he's got an order form, and you stand there and you're like, darn it, my kid's gonna be at their door next week with their order form, so what's the cheapest thing I can buy to get this little kid in his uniform off my front porch? So it's this uncomfortable situation, yet every organization goes through it. So you make these unpleasant decisions because it's the easiest way to do it. And all it does is transfer that uncomfortableness onto the organization members and your family and friends who have to deal with it. So after my day of selling donuts, which was mostly successful, I'm sitting at my local pizza shop, and I have an office in the incubator in Williamsburg, which sits above Paul's Deli. And we were sitting there contemplating what we had accomplished, and shouldn't there be a better way? And all I could think was, man, if I could just raise money sitting here eating pizza and drinking beer at Paul's Deli, then that would be awesome. That would really be cool. So that was part of the genesis for Sponsor By. So Sponsor By is a two-way marketplace. It's a means for local nonprofits to raise money by selling gift cards, electronic gift cards, for local businesses. So you've got local businesses who need new customers, you've got local nonprofits who want to raise money, you've got local supporters who are trying to help everybody out, and it's this nice three-way relationship. So I've launched this site. I'll talk a little bit about where I am in the process, but how this works for nonprofits, setting up a fundraiser is just a simple form they fill out online. They're then able to invite their members. So the example that I use is the initial fundraiser that we kicked off on Tuesday of this week. They are able to invite the members to create their own profile page. Maybe you've seen this with the Girl Scouts. They can have their picture and their plea for why it's so important to them, why you should help them, and then it lists all the available gift cards that they're able to purchase. You've got easy tools to then share this with your friends and neighbors, so they can put it on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and I learned how to use Snapchat the other day, which was like a big thing for my kids. But the idea is that you don't have to stand outside the Food Lion or the Farm Fresh on the weekends trying to sell stuff, that you can do it from the comfort of your couch with your iPad in your lap. And then the nice part of this is the viral piece of it means that in an organization like the Ward Hill Marching Band, some of the parents and some of the families own local businesses. So for them to hear about it this way and say, oh, well, I'd like to help the band, and this seems like a good thing. So it grows in that way as well. So how it works for the supporters, it's e-commerce. I mean, they go online, they see, you know, anybody that's ever bought a Groupon or a Living Social gift certificate or something like that, they're able to go find the one that they like, $20 voucher. I know some of it's going to go help the band. I'm all in. I'm going to go to Paul's Deli and drink beer and eat pizza anyway, so I might as well help the band while I'm going to do it. For merchants, right? So this is the part. This is probably the biggest piece that I'm proving out now through the proof of concept. Is they are signing up because they view this as marketing. A kid in a uniform with his picture on the website, sending out to grandma and the neighbors and all that kind of stuff. This is marketing gold for them. Instead of putting an ad in the paper and hoping that somebody's going to see it, or putting a coupon out there, they've got people that are saying, look, Paul's Deli is helping the Ward Hill Marching Band, and if you commit to go and visit them, they're going to help us. So, you know, it's great. And in terms of what the merchants can do, they might say, well, I can't give up 15, I can give up 10% of each of my checks. They can't use it on Friday and Saturday nights because I'm so busy. I don't need, that's not when I need the traffic. I need them in here for lunch. Maybe they can't use it for whatever, you know, for this location, the farmer's market where they're selling stuff on the weekends. They can't use, whatever those terms and conditions are, we can support that. And the nice part is there's a QR code on each of these vouchers that can either be redeemed via mobile device if the merchants have it, or they can just go in online and say, okay, these 3 were redeemed tonight, so that they can't be used again and fraud doesn't become an issue. So the financial model is that 10%, a minimum of 10% of each of the gift cards that are sold will go to the nonprofit that has sold it. So that's effectively their commission or the money that they're raising. 5% goes to me, and then the merchant's also paying the credit card processing fees of about 2.7%. So the merchant cost is roughly 18% or so, which the feedback I've received so far is that that's in line with what they're spending on other marketing programs. So where am I in this business? I started this about a year ago, as Zach and I were talking earlier. Everything takes a little longer than you think. I still have my day job, so I'm doing this on the side. But we launched in February of, so we launched, actually Tuesday was when the event, the first fundraiser actually started. So what am I doing? I'm able for all the registrations and signups to happen. I'm able to sell the gift cards. I'm doing it with just one organization. The intent is to gather the necessary feedback and inputs and data from this exercise, so that after it's done, I can pivot, make the necessary adjustments, add the things, change the things, what have you, and then do a real beta. I've coded the site myself. I've hobbled it together with some, you know, available things that I've repurposed. But the goal would be to get it to a point where, okay, I've proven out the model. Let's either invest some money, raise some money, what have you, to get it done correctly. And obviously, the goal is to get that done later this year. So I said it's a proof of concept. What am I proving? So from the nonprofit standpoint, do they want it? I mean, the answer here has been an unequivocal yes. Most organizations, whether it's the Rotary, the Kiwanis, the Boy Scouts, the school clubs, what have you, they're all doing multiple things through the course of the year to raise money. So something like this, they look at as additive. Hey, we could do that in addition to those other things, because this doesn't require the investment in time and energy and goodwill with our friends and neighbors as the other things. So that's been a yes. But the kicker is, will the members then, is there a call to action? Will they embrace it enough that they really go and push it out on their social networks? You know, if you think of the band with 120 members, and there's a mom and a dad, and they all have friends and you know, deep networks, this should be able to get out to thousands of people, but they got to do it, and that's what we're trying to prove out now. From a local business standpoint, I was sharing with Zach earlier, you know, I want this to scale. I want it to be the kind of thing where it just sells itself. People look at it and say, Tom, that was such a brilliant idea, or how do I sign up? And let me just do that. And I'm not there yet. The reality is the merchants that have signed up are the ones I've sat down with, explained it to, and 100% of them have signed up. So it's something I've got to figure out. You know, maybe that's okay. Maybe the slow growth is going to be the way this goes. Maybe I can get it to the point where, you know, leveraging some technologies to do videos and things like that will allow, you know, the PTA president and people in those organizations to go and deliver those messages themselves. And then the supporters, are they going to buy? right? If they see the offers and they know they're helping out the organizations that they care about, are they gonna click that button and put in their credit card and actually buy this stuff? So, the proof is in the pudding, and I'm looking forward to the next month. It's keeping me awake, you know, you're watching to see how many people are signing up and how many things are getting sold and how quickly all that's happening, but it's been a fun ride so far, and I'm hopeful. That's sponsored by
So on the business side, the risk to me as an entrepreneur or small business owner is zero, because I'm paying based on a percentage of, is that right?
That's a big part of my message is, as marketing programs go, there's no, even if it had your name listed there, even if you never sold anything, you're on the books as helping out local nonprofits.
Okay.
But yeah, you're paying for performance.
Okay. Wow, every small business owner's dream.
You would think. You would think, but it's something new. So, I mean, the selling I'm doing now is missionary selling, right? Everybody wants to compare it to, oh, well, I've got these, I've used those discount cards before, and no, but it doesn't really work. And it's like, similar idea, but a little bit different. And then, God forbid you compare it to Groupon, because the economics of the Groupon or Living Social models are so terrible for local businesses that they may do it once, but then they'll never go back. So that's like touching the third rail. You don't want to get too close to that.
Can you go back to your pricing structure? Because when I heard it at first, to me it seemed like Groupon, so I'm just trying to understand, other than the margins.
Yeah, so 10% has to go to the charity. So for example, a $20 gift card. So $2 is going to go to the local charity that's sold, or nonprofit that's sold that card on your behalf. Tom's got to get a little something out of it, so I get $1, and then they've got to pay the swipe fee for the $20 charge on the card.
But why not put that premium on the purchaser? Like, why not, instead of selling that $20 gift card for $25, and then those $5
going to
that's the donation? Because then you could throw in, say, Amazon gift cards and just sell at a premium.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to bring in all these other businesses right now, because you have to AstroTurf it somehow if you're building a double-sided.
It's actually a really interesting idea, because there are scripts, there's programs that do this already. I mean, this is why you can go into Farm Fresh and buy Amazon gift cards or Buffalo, whatever it is, because they're paying a small commission on it. But that's a good idea. I mean, if people are willing to buy, and so I mean, some of these organizations, the supporters are so fervent, they're so committed to it, that they probably would do that. They'd say, oh, so I'm making a $5 donation, I'm gonna get a $20 gift card out of it to a place I'm gonna go anyway.
Yeah, I'd buy a $100 card at Amazon. I'm gonna spend the money anyway, so I might as well go into your pocket and.
So do you think that's more compelling than just giving them an option to say, would you like to add another $5 on? I mean, they do that at the cash register.
It's going to take some marketing wizardry on your side, but I could see it. It makes more sense.
Because originally it was more of a Groupon model where there was still going to be a discount and something for the charity, and the numbers just don't add up.
Exactly.
It's too much. But that's a great. I like that.
But just a thought about that. When I'm in the grocery store and they say, "Did you want to contribute to Kids Need to Read an extra $5?" I always say no, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But if I bought something and
you're going to get something,
and you say it's to benefit the War Hill marching band, then I go, oh well, okay, I don't mind that $2 went to that or $3 went to that, but I don't necessarily want to pay $5 more
at the checkout.
At the checkout box. Yeah.
Right. You want it to happen before that.
Right.
Yeah. It's just like a lot of.
So it's the option that you don't want.
Yes. Yeah, that I don't want to do it.
Yeah, it's like the add-on at the very end, right, when you're about to check out. If I knew eggs were going to be 20% more just to support this, I might buy those eggs. But if I get to the checkout and they're like, oh, do you want to add 20% on, then I'd be like, no, probably not.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
psychology.
It's a
psychology thing.
Easier to say no at that point.
Yeah. But cool.
So would you ever consider, besides, I know you said this was for 501, whatever, the nonprofit status, I mean, would you ever consider, like, for example, people who want to go on a missions trip and they're clearly not some type of, money-making thing, they just want to support their missions trip?
It's interesting because you get into political campaigns and causes and things like that could be, and my goal is to get those merchants in for everybody, not just for the War Hill Band, but for everybody.
Right.
So if you stick to a common definition like 501c3, then, okay, you know, people are gonna be okay with that, but it could get messy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And I looked at, you know, everybody does a spirit night, Blaze Pizza and Chick-fil-A and all those, Chipotle. So you look at the criteria that they use, because they don't wanna be supporting some cause that turned out to not be consistent with it. So, for now, I just gotta keep
Oh,
it
yeah.
narrow.
So where are your vendors mainly in Norfolk, or where are?
Right now they're in Williamsburg, because
Oh,
that's where I
Williamsburg, yeah,
am.
Williamsburg.
But the goal is, so there's interesting opportunities to say, boy, if you plug into a Rotary or a Kiwanis or something that has, you know, basically chapters everywhere, and a lot of those guys are already business owners. You say, boy, you could really do some neat stuff, because they're business owners already, they're raising money for a good cause. You know, you could really see it seeding an area where it would make it really easy for everybody else to just jump on board too, so.
And you're gonna do
Let's hope.
any kind of vendor, not just like food.
Yeah, I
but
mean,
anything.
anybody that sells something.
Any business that is local, yeah.
Nail salons
Right.
and carpet cleaners
That's
and
great.
whatever.
Great job.
Thanks,
Great
guys.
job.